Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch for another Hot Toys 1/6 figure unboxing and review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Joker, MMS 249 from the movie The Dark Knight. And this is the Bank Robber Joker 2.0. They made a 1.0 and we'll get into what some of the differences are between that one and this figure. But before we get too far along, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are on a quest for 3,000 subscribers and I'd love to get there before the end of the year, and I can't do it without your help. So please subscribe and hit that like button and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. So this was a figure that I had in my collection in my early days of collecting, and I let it go. And I kind of didn't really regret it until recently, and I just wanted it back because I did sell my DX11 in anticipation for the Queen Studios InArt 1/6 Joker, but I just couldn't bear not having a Joker in the collection. I figured, well, what the heck, why not maybe get the Bank Robber Joker back? So we do have those two variants of Joker. Joker and Darth Vader are my two favorite villains, so can never really have enough of either one. Taking a look at the box, I really do like the design of it, and the front is going to be a full white with like a drawing of the, it's like an artistic take of the bank robber mask, the clown mask. And then this is going to be, again, MMS 249. We have the Dark Knight logo at the top, and this was a Sideshow exclusive. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head what the exclusive was, so if you know, let me know in the comments below. On the back, we do have all of the creators and the warnings and the legal language, so there is that. This is going to be a slip cover, and the cool thing about this is the eyes on the front are cut out, so then we do see the Joker, kind of like a Joker design on the inside, and again, we do have more of the creators listed. When we take that off, we get our first look at the Joker in all of the packaging. I'm excited to have this back in the collection and take a look at him with you guys. It looks great. He comes with a lot of cool stuff, so there's going to be a lot to do here. Before we get a look at the figure, I want to take a look at the base that he comes with as well as the accessories. Starting with the base that comes with our Joker, here it is right in front of us. It is the worst style of base that Hot Toys gives us. It's this huge kind of like diamond shaped base, and the reason I don't like it is it just takes up way too much space. You know, if you look in my Modu cases, I like to get my figures somewhat close together, you know, then you can pack more in there. And if you're using the bases, obviously there's just a big distance here for the width of the base that it's just too big is what it comes down to. Outside of that, it is a nice printed marble style flooring going around that we kind of saw in the bank. It does come with a normal crotch grabber and then a transparent pole, which I do like because then you don't see like the black pole behind them. It's not as distracting. And then as we take a look here, we do see it's got a nice metal nameplate with the Dark Knight logo on there. It says the Joker Bank Robber version. So outside of that, it does look really nice. The other thing that comes with this base is a cardboard backdrop of the school bus where it backs into the bank. I'm not a big fan of those. I think they look cheap. I think they take away from the figure. But if you're doing photography and whatnot, I'm sure you could get it to look pretty cool and realistic. It's just the quality of the print isn't the greatest. And I never use those things. But here's a good look at it. So that does come with the base as well. So you can make somewhat of a diorama to go with this figure. And next we have all the accessories that come with our Bank Robber Joker, and it's actually quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff that you can do with this figure. You might almost think it could pass for a DX figure with all the stuff that it comes with, but let's just go into it really quickly here. We do have his duffel bag. We do have 6 extra gloves, his shotgun, his knife, his pistol, the extra head sculpt with the clown mask, the piece that all of the grenades hang on that can go into the duffel bag. We have his smoke bomb that can be attached to the back of his suit, his watch, 4 smoke bombs, 6 grenades like this, and then 6 more grenades up top. We do have a stack of dollar bills. We do have Joker cards. There is a lot to like here. Let's just take a look at the gloves first. Again, these are going to be pretty simple. They do have a nice shine to them to replicate what a glove would look like, and all that fake stitching there. Very, very nice. And we do have like finger points. We do have gripping hands, gesturing hands, and then just the resting hands are on the figure right now. Here is the smoke bomb that can be attached to the back of his suit, and just a little hook there. Be very careful with those. They're very, very delicate. Speaking of delicate and easy to lose, look at that little watch. Look at that. That's awesome. We do have the shotgun. Not much of any weathering, but it still does look really good. The pump action does work as well. His blade, and I believe it does retract, and is the same one that comes with the DX11. The weapons are the same that come with the DX11, but I think that one also comes with the machine gun. Taking a look, I like these smoke bombs a lot, just because they just look really authentic. I love the coloring here and the paint application. It says M18 Smoke White, and then it's got like a number at the bottom. Those are really cool. Then the green grenades, and you can see they do have a little kind of like a pin there. Man, they just give you a ton of grenades. It's really cool. Here's his pistol. Really cool looking pistol, very unique. It is spring loaded, so it cocks back, and the magazine does come out. Let's take a look at the head sculpt here. This is really, really nice. So the previous version, they just had like a rubber mask that would go over the head, and I think this is just a lot better because it is sculpted. It fits perfectly, and it just looks more authentic and real. I love the weathering on this clown mask. It's not clean, it's dirty. There's a lot of scrapes and cuts as well. And if you look really closely, they have the Joker eyes sculpted in there as well. So that's just really cool that they did that. I just love this a lot. It's got the back of the head with the band going across. It's tough because both of these head sculpts are really good. So it's going to be a tough decision for which one I'll actually display on the figure itself. And then we do have the money, and it is just printed on one side. And you can see just a little Joker face on there. We do have the Joker cards, a bunch of different ones in there. The duffel bag itself looks really nice. Just be very careful with the zippers. I'm not even going to mess around with putting this in there because when I had the figure the first time, I broke the clips here. These are really fragile right here. You can just see how delicate and thin they are. So I'm going to be very careful not to mess with that too much. And then you can see the zippers as well. They do zip, but again, going to be a delicate piece. And then this opens up as well. And again, if you really want to, you can hang the grenades on this and then put that in the duffel bag itself. But I'm probably just going to leave it empty and hang it on the figure. But yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff. Really happy with kind of the bang for your buck for this figure. But speaking of the figure, let's get him out here and take a closer look. And here we have our first look at our Joker figure, and right off the bat, he's as good as I remember. I like him a lot, and I do understand while this isn't the traditional purple suited Joker, it's scene specific. I get while people might not gravitate towards this figure, but he is very good in his own right. The head sculpt looks great, and we'll get a closer look at that in a minute. The tailoring looks a lot better than the 1.0. It just fits the figure a lot better. Something that's always bothered me is that he's not wearing a belt. I don't know if that's screen accurate or not, but it just, maybe that with the pants riding a little bit too high. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But then the other part that is kind of a drawback is you can see this yellow stain going down the button seam of the dress shirt, and that is going to be a Hot Toys defect. There are a lot of these figures that have it. It's actually harder to find one without it than it is to find with it. My previous figure had it as well. So that is definitely a bummer. If anybody knows what can be done to kind of take that out without ruining the print of the design itself, that would be great. But unfortunately, that is one of those defects that Hot Toys just... I'm not even sure why that even happens, but it's a very curious thing. But now let's zoom in and take a closer look at that updated head sculpt. Taking a closer look at the figure, you can definitely see that stained stripe down the buttons there. Again, I am not sure why that happens, and it's just on the outside of it. You can see inside it's perfectly fine. So that is definitely weird. Looking at this head sculpt though, I do like it a lot. In ways, it looks better than the DX11, but something about that figure, I think the paint application here is better. I think the sculpt on the other one might be better, and I think the hair is better on this one. But you can see he's almost got like a little bit of a shine to him as well. You can just see that the paint looks real. I love how there's like spots of skin kind of showing here. He's got the eyes set off to one angle. I'm not sure how I feel about that or not. PURS would have really put this thing over the top. It's probably the only thing that's missing to make this a DX figure. But the hair does look better than I think the DX11. It's got a little bit more body. Looks a little bit more real. Man, that looks really, really good right there. That profile looks just like Heath Ledger. And then the clothes they're kind of plain Jane. I don't know if it's just mine, but there is some like kind of white going on. Like you can just kind of see. I don't know if it's from the previous owner. Yeah, see even just on the back as well. It's not a big deal, but just kind of weird. But you can see just no belt. Pants are a little bit loose, but the coat fits really nice. Going down here, these are the gloves that we have on the figure itself. Pants look really good, and then we do have sculpted shoes, sculpted shoelaces, really good articulation in the foot as well, and on the bottom we do have tread. So just an overall really nice looking figure. On the back, you can see here's where we would hook up the smoke bomb to the character as well. So it's got a clip right here that you can hook it on to. But yeah, overall the figure looks really nice outside of this stripe here, which it doesn't look as bad. I mean, we're in harsh light here, so it's kind of highlighting it even more. But I really love this head sculpt. It looks really good. It's really going to be tough. Which head sculpt do I pose this with? I don't know. It's a shame to not use this, but it's the bank robber Joker, right? So I got to decide what I'm going to do. But let's just take a look at articulation right away. I think he's going to articulate pretty well. Hands go up to about there. Again, the head should be pretty easy to move. It's got very good movement in the abdomen area. Swivel here, swivel in the bicep, swivel in the thigh. Yeah, pretty easy to pose. The joints are maybe a hair loose in areas, but again, this is an older figure. Double bend in the knee, and then again, we did kind of talk about the feet as well. So now let's get them into some poses and talk about some of the things that I like and dislike about the figure. Starting with the things that I really like about the figure, first and foremost, the easiest and the biggest one would be the two improved head sculpts. I really do like this Joker head sculpt, and I think the bank robber Joker with the mask sculpted on the head looks phenomenal as well. I'm really struggling to decide which one to pose with the figure, and I'm not one for getting two figures, and I wouldn't do it for this one, but I understand why people do it for reasons like this, where they're both just so good and you really can't decide which one to pose on the figure. The second thing that I really like about the figure are the accessories that come with this thing. Again, if we had PURS, this thing would be a DX, but that's the only thing missing. This thing comes with a ton of accessories, bunch of weapons, bunch of hands, the extra head sculpt, the duffel bag with all of the bombs, plus money and cards. There's so much that you can do with this figure. The third thing that I like is that there's really not going to be any restrictions on posing this Joker. You can do whatever you want. The arms go up to about 90, the legs go out to about 90 as well. There's swivels, there's everything. There's no restrictions in the clothing, so you can pose this guy however you want. Now for some things that I didn't like as much. The first would be that nasty looking stain stripe on the shirt. That's a Hot Toys defect. There's nothing that we can do really, I think, to prevent it, unless I'm wrong, but there's a ton of figures that I see on the secondhand market that have this issue. It's a shame that it happens because it really does take away from the figure. The second thing that I dislike is the style of base that they went with, and I know this was more of a thing when the figure came out. I don't see too many of these bases nowadays, but it's too big, it's too wide, it's too bulky. You just can't get figures around it. If you're in a DTOF and you're only putting one figure in a cube, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you're putting numerous figures in a DTOF, it's a huge deal. If you're putting numerous figures in a Modu case, it's a huge deal. And the final thing that I don't like, that I also had the same problem with the previous bank robber Joker that I owned, as well as the DX11, is the ankle joints are so weak and loose that this guy loves to topple over on his own. So you really have to pose him with this base, which again, I don't like because I don't like the base. So outside of that, this is a really great figure. The other thing with the shirt too, I think I'm going to look at picking up a Daft Toys set, a clothing set, and just switch out the shirt and do it that way. I think that'll help this figure look a lot better. But outside of that, I do think it's a really good figure. There's a lot of bang for your buck. And I think the price isn't too high either. I think I got this for around what retail would have been. So not overly expensive if you can find it for the right price. But for any DC fan, I think this is a must. And I'm very happy to have him in the collection. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content. We do have Monday night live streams, 6 Scale Symposium at 8:30 Central Time, where we hang out with other great collectors in the community, so be a part of that as well. We are on our quest to 3,000 subscribers. I'm setting the goal. I want to get there by the end of the year. Need your help to do it, so thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and as always, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.